there, friends. Hope everyone is well today. I'm going to be showing you how to do a granny cluster continuous join as you go. We'll be using the motifs from, let me get this dog hair. Wow. I have a husky, so he's everywhere. He's probably in your house right now because that's how far his hair can just spread. He's also obnoxious with his breathing. I'm sorry if you hear him in the background. He's old and he's lazy. He's lazy with his breathing. Totally normal. He's fine. He's just lazy when he breathes. Hey, can you be cool? Be cool down there? Real life. All right. These are the motifs for my Chloe scarf. And we're going to be starting on the right side, working our way to the left. Totally opposite from how you look at things left to right when you read and everything, right? So when you have your motifs all laid out, obviously for a scarf, there would be a lot more of these squares in between, but for the sake of time, let's just do 3 motifs together so I can get you through this and you can understand how to join. So lay all of your motifs out and make sure that when you stack them, so you don't have to leave them all laid out, 12 to 14 motifs just laying somewhere on your table, like I do mine a lot, you start to stack them. So you stack from right to left. So take your one on the furthest right, stack it on top, and then take both and stack it on the next. And that way, as you grab them, you're gonna know what order to go in without really having to think too hard about it. I'm not saying don't double check, but this will help you. So first, take a hook that's a half size bigger than what you did to make your motifs. It just makes the join a little bit nicer. And we're going to insert the hook through any point of the triangle, chain space point, wrap some yarn on the hook, pull through and lock it in with a chain, okay? Then we're gonna chain one more time and that is our first double crochet. Do 2 more double crochets in this chain space. And as we turn our work, don't forget, this is a stitch right here, okay? Do you see that? That's a stitch. You're skipping, after every corner space, you're skipping 3 stitches working into the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Put your finger if you need to there. Oh my Lord, don't say it, Melissa. And then you're gonna do a granny cluster in that 4th stitch. Granny cluster is 3 double crochets in 1 stitch. Now from here, you do not skip 3 stitches. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stop. You're going to skip 2. This is just for math purposes, okay? And that sneaky stitch at the beginning, it is basically covered up anyways. So we're not stretching our, pulling the motif together. Look, that is another hair. Oh my gosh, it's fine. All right, so skip 2 stitches, granny cluster into that next 3rd stitch. Okay, you can hear my dog. Isn't it obnoxious? This is what I live with. It's kind of normal for me. Hopefully it doesn't sound absolutely crazy. Skip 2 more stitches, granny cluster. I'm actually really impressed with how quickly I got into doing this particular tutorial. Normally I talk a lot more than that and I'm trying to talk during it so you're not like, get to the point, Melly. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna try to do this whole thing together. I think I can manage it. It's only 3 motifs, it's 1 row. You're not having to join 4 corners together. This should be a pretty simple one. You'll have 2 stitches left and then you'll granny cluster in the next tip, just the tip point of the triangle. Chain 2, please, and do another granny cluster in the same chain space because we've got to make a corner. If you don't do this, you won't have a corner, okay? It's gonna pull, it's gonna be gross, you're gonna notice it, and you're gonna be like, dang it, I can't believe I did that. I've done that and actually come around with my join and it's not fun. You have to frog and I don't like it. See how that stitch is covered up? Don't forget the sneaky stitch to count it because it's after a corner, so what do? We skip 1, 2, 3, and we granny cluster into the 4th stitch after every corner. Okay, that's a hard and fast rule for this particular tutorial, all right? Then we only skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, going into the 3rd with those granny clusters. Wanna know a secret? I started this tutorial and I had to completely erase it after 10 or 11 minutes, which was a bummer because my stitch count got messed up. It was sad. And at the end of it, I probably should have saved it just so I could have had a blooper. It was like, and I can't use this, great. Skip 2 stitches into the 3rd with our 3 double crochets, AKA our fabulous granny cluster. Okay, see how we are so far? This motif does curl a little bit. It's fine. Trust the process. It's just a scarf too. Like, things are going to be moved and everything. But also with motifs like this, I have absolutely done the work to make this lay as flat as possible. I have found a little bit of steaming will also go a long way to just pull at the edges a little bit, straighten her out. But the math works. It's just sometimes tension, you know, on any certain day is tighter than the others. It's probably what happened with this motif. You'll have 2 stitches left, and we're gonna go work our 1 granny cluster only into this 3rd chain space, 3rd corner, okay? Now this, imagine this is the end of your scarf. This is where like your fringe will go, not fringe, tassel. You'll have a tassel here. So I gotta turn it though, all right? Let me make sure too, have I done this right? Let me make sure. Nope, sorry. This is the tip of your scarf. Sorry about that. Like this. So you'll have your tassel here, and this will work on later. Right now though, so we stopped at a granny cluster in the 3rd corner. I need you to chain 2, turn your work however you need to work with it, all right? Grab your next motif, which happens to be this lovely square. I love these colors too. I actually have a whole scarf in these colors. It's featured in the pattern, so I just made more to use for the tutorial. So what we're gonna do is a standing double crochet, you guys. This is not as hard as it sounds. If you've done these tutorials with me before, you're like, get on with it, I already know how to do this. But for those who have not, you yarn over, get that yarn on your hook, just like you're about to do a double crochet, okay? Go insert your hook into any corner of the square, yarn over, pull up another loop. You've got 3, just as you would with a double crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. You have a double crochet. Boom. Now the join as you go part, here's where it happens. This stitch exactly opposite, not the chain. Please leave that out of the way. Ignore it. We'll use it later. That's our little nub, as I call it. The last double crochet you made into your triangle, you're going to insert your hook in that stitch, yarn over, and pull through a slip stitch to join. You're doing this the entire way down, you guys. Let's double crochet in that working square, go across to the next stitch, insert your hook and slip stitch, okay? Now here's where we're gonna do our last double crochet to complete our granny cluster. What I like to do here, you can go into this stitch, that's fine, but you see that little piece of yarn right there? Right there? I think that it gets a little bit crowded in this hole right here, and I like to just put the crochet hook into the space between and do my 3rd slip stitch, okay? You can still see your stitches you'll be working into. It's not messing you up. You'll have 1, 2, 3, all right? It just, for me, it looks cleaner. You wanna go into the stitch to make things make more sense for you? I'm totally fine with it. That's your option. So skipping 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're still doing that, okay? After every corner, I'll be a broken record, I will. You're doing a double crochet and you're slip stitching across into the next corresponding stitch. This is actually really easy because you're just going into every stitch across. If you're left over with stitches or clusters at the end, you did something wrong. Back into the same stitch. Remember, it's not a granny cluster unless you're going into the same stitch, all right? Double crochet, slip stitch across. You got the rhythm now? Double crochet, slip stitch. I go into the space between just to make it clean. Oh, that rhymes. That was unintentional. Skip 2 now and go into the 3rd, all right? This is just math, you guys. If the stitch count worked where I only skipped 2 at the beginning, that's what I would do. There's no like special reason I'm doing that other than math. That's all. So hopefully you're continuing along with me. Skip 2 into the 3rd. Try to do this whole thing without pausing. Where am I at? I'm at 9.5 minutes. It's not too bad. See if I can finish this in 20 minutes. Because at some point, at some point I'm just gonna like speed along. 1, 2, and 3. Because we're about to get to kind of a simple part again, where you just do some granny clusters all the way around, and it's good stuff. I don't know if I can do this in 20 minutes though, not without non-stopping, because I try to be very thorough and explain. So you got your opposite corner here. We just need to do a granny cluster. Same as we've been doing. Go across and slip stitch. Go into that little hole again and go across and slip stitch. And once more, except this time, well, kind of is why I think I go in between the spaces as well, is that now we're going to not slip stitch into the stitch here of that last one. We're going right into the space, okay? You're slip stitching across right into that chain space. Now that slip stitch counts as one chain for your corner, basically. Think of it that way. I know that sounds a little confusing, but you've got 2 chains in every corner. You're trying to turn and make a corner. That slip stitch counts as your first chain, and then chain 1, because that counts as your second chain. And now I need you to complete your corner by doing a granny cluster in that same working squares chain space. Okay? How many do we skip? Say it with me. 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. How many times do I say skip 4? Probably as many times as is in this video. Now we're gonna go kind of quick now. We're skipping 2 into the 3rd stitch because we're not after a corner now. How pretty is this green color though? Oh my gosh. This is the Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Green Apple from Hobby Lobby, and it might be my favorite green ever at the moment. It's pretty fabulous. It's just a spicy, nice, bright green. I love it. You can tell I used it for leaves. I've actually used it for the leafy portion of a Chloe blanket as well. It's not the first time this color was featured. All right, we're going to do a completed corner because you can see the trend. Once I finish this corner, I'm gonna show you how the motifs are looking, and you should be able to see it coming together, okay? See how it's coming together? As you could guess, we've got to go down here and we've got to attach that 3rd motif, okay? So just keep doing the same sequence. Skip 4 after the corner and do your granny cluster. And let's get down to that final corner of the square so we can attach this triangle. And the triangle follows the same exact sequence. There's just not 4 sides, which is great. I'm glad that it's worked out pretty simply. There's no stitch weirdness. I haven't added stitches. Give me some more yarn here. All right, so we're gonna do a half corner, okay? That means 1 granny cluster and then chain 2. That is a chain 1 and that is chain 2. So here we go. We're gonna turn so I can actually work. And I should have reminded you, but maybe you noticed, I have it in the written instructions. Keep your yarn underneath where you're working, if that makes any kind of sense. Like, it should be natural because of how you're going into the stitches, and I'll explain. But let's do a standing double crochet together. Yarn over, insert into any point of the new triangle, new motif, pull up a loop, so you're very double crochet oriented here. You're double crochet forward. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Don't forget your slip stitch. Now here's what I mean by yarn underneath. If you're going through the top of the stitch to the bottom, or top of the motif to underneath, however you need to say it, move that little chain nub out of the way. Your yarn is gonna be under your motif. See how it's under? You never wanna pull from the yarn being up here. If you're going under through the top, that's wrong. That's gonna look funny, okay? So now that I've confused you, go into the top of the motif or the right side to where your hook is on. You're pulling yarn from the wrong side, okay? There you go. Slip stitch. Let's finish out our granny cluster. Remember to go across. If you do not go across, I promise to the ends of the earth, this will not work for you. You have to slip stitch across. If you do not slip stitch across, you're not doing continuous join as you go. You're just flailing about and not doing things correctly. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I have not really had someone tell me, hey, your video is completely unclear. I think I repeat myself a pretty darn lot. I try to be a broken record and that's why I'm doing this in real time and I'm not fast forwarding, because I just don't want you to be confused. If it takes me an extra, 10 minutes of my life to do the whole thing instead of skipping ahead, which I did do on my first one for my Juliet, but that's because those squares are so big. I would have literally been sitting around doing it for, I think, probably a good hour. As it is, the video is like 40 minutes long. So, which is fine. Again, no complaints from people, but I did not want to sit down and record for an hour. But those squares are like 10 or 11 inches. These are 5-inch squares. So major difference as far as time it takes to join. Let's see. Whoops, that doesn't look cute. Go into the whole stitch, love. All right, almost to the point where we are gonna breeze through the rest of it because I only joined 3 motifs. Makes it super easy, doesn't it? All right, so my sweet dog is snoring down there. He's blissful. I love him. Sweet Neville. All right, we're in that corner. I'm gonna do a little reminder here that in your 3rd double crochet of that corner, you're going into the space, the chain space for that final slip stitch, okay? Which counts as chain 1 and then chain 2. All right, so slip stitch counts as 1 and then you just chain 1 after that. Finish out your corner by doing another granny cluster. Sorry if my light's crazy. I always record these, I feel like, at the wrong time of day. Skip that one. See, there's one under there. See, this is why we skip it. That is actually a stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's already like covered up. So give me more yarn. Thank you, yarn, for not hitting me in the face. Y'all ever had that happen? Oh, anecdote time. I had a pair of scissors almost go right into my eye. Not realizing, yeah, that's gruesome, right? I know everyone went, oh my gosh. I was pulling yarn like that, and I didn't realize that the scissors were in the path of the yarn, like underneath, and I gave that yarn a good yank, and those scissors literally hit me in the face, like on my cheek. I saw 3 lifetimes flash before my eyes. I thought, like, I am so jarred from it, thankfully not scarred from it, that I cannot, I am so aware of where my scissors are. So, friendly reminder, safety reminder, please make sure you know where your scissors are at all times before you start like jerking yarn around. It's not great. I'm really concerned. I think about it every time I have scissors out now. I just put them back in my bag. So guys, we are just gonna follow around. This is where it gets real easy. We're following that same sequence of how we do our granny clusters. Please don't forget, this is considered a corner, this point. You have to do a full granny cluster, chain 2, granny cluster in your corners / points. Skipping, so you see how I can actually, I just see the stitches that I'm skipping. I don't have to really count them, and you'll get the same way. Once you start joining, you know, your 5th square or something, you'll be like, oh, I don't even have to count anymore. I can just see the stitches. I can see it. So we're gonna go and follow all the way down the 3rd side of this triangle, and when we get to that little nub I talked about, we're gonna show you, I'm gonna show you because I'm not a we, I am a one-woman she, and we're gonna do we. I love how we do that. It's like we are going to show you today. There's just me, it's just me. All right, we have gotten to where we need to complete this corner, okay? So that's what we're doing along the base or bottom side of the row. We are completing our corner by doing a granny cluster in that chain space, okay? See how this curls a little bit? She just needs a good little steam. She needs a steam. All right, we've done our granny cluster. Please chain 1. This little nub, see it? Do you see it? That's our chain 2 nubbin, all right? So we're gonna insert the hook in that little chain 2 nubbin space, and we're gonna slip stitch into it, chain 1 again, and complete the granny cluster corner on the opposite side of that nub. Skip 3, go to 4. My door is opening. That's creepy. It's just the wind blew it open. I'm not being attacked or anything. Nobody panic. That'd be funny. I just keep doing this. It's like, could you hold off on murdering me? That'd be great. I am in the middle and almost to the end of this, and I've been on for 20 minutes. I'd really like to not have to do it again. Take what you want and leave. All right, my humor, y'all, it's not everyone's cup of tea. Bear with me. Don't give me a thumbs down. All right, on the corner, we have to finish. Every corner has to have a 1 and 2, and then we gotta do a chain 1 only. that little nubbin, you're gonna stick the hook, pull through a slip stitch, and chain one again, and then finish that corner out. Almost done. I almost stuck to I might be at my 25 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm racing the clock. Really proud of myself. I have to do another tutorial today too. Let's see if I can actually do that. Now my dog is being obnoxious again and he has to go outside because he heard the door open. He's very confusing. Okay. Getting our granny cluster there. Y'all, the door's open. It's been very cold here in Florida. Cold for us. I know that y'all are like neck deep in snow up north, but I know we don't get that, but it is a wet cold down here. Very humid, and it's like icicles pinprickling my skin. It's not the best. However, I'm not snowed in, so I'm blessed. Let me shut that door. Okay, so we're back to where we started, but we have to finish that corner, all right? So you're gonna do a granny cluster in that starting corner, all right? Chain 2, and you're gonna just slip stitch into the first double crochet you made. You can, okay, so here, I know that's confusing because technically the chain 2 was the first double crochet. You can totally slip stitch into that. I go into just the top of whatever stitch. It's fine, it's fine. Cause see, you can see that there's a nice hole there. All right, so we would finish off. I guess I'll turn it this way. Hold, please. All right, there she is. So you can see, I wonder if I open my door if you can see a little bit better. Meh, not really. All right, so you can see we've got the whole thing joined. I hope that was helpful. You got your 2 points, and you know, if you had a scarf, it'd be much longer. It'd be beautiful. You can see it in the pattern. Yeah, guys, so if you have any questions, you're welcome to leave them on the comments here, or you can message me over on Instagram at Melissa_made_that. Thanks, guys. Cheers.